After a dramatic congressional override of President Obama's veto of the 9/11 bill, now families who lost loved ones in the September 11 attacks, they can now sue the Saudi Arabian government. 15 of the 19 9/11 hijackers were Saudi nationals, and somehow they got help here in the United States. Saudi Arabia has long been accused of aiding in the attack. President Obama says this bill, though, will be detrimental to U.S. national interests. And now we've got Saudi Arabia following suit. They're issuing a statement releasing that basically reading, quote, "The terrorism act is of great concern to the community of nations that object to the erosion of the principle of sovereign immunity, which has governed international relations for hundreds of years." Joining me now, Alice Hoagland. Alice's son, Mark Bingham. He was probably one of the bravest guys you could ever know. He was killed on Flight 93, which crashed into a field in Pennsylvania, 9/11. But not before Mark and several other passengers bravely fought the hijackers to take back control of the plane, possibly saving thousands of lives because that plane could have been possibly headed for the Capitol Hill or the White House. Alice is one of the family members suing the Saudi Arabian government. Alice, we're so sorry for the loss of your son, and it's good that you joined us tonight. We really appreciate it. Do you blame Saudi Arabia, the government, for your son's death?
Well, clearly I blame the hijackers, and 15 of them were Saudi. I have reason, along with all the other 9/11 family members, to suspect that Saudi Arabia might have had something to do with it. Those vaunted 28 pages were all about Saudi involvement in 9/11. There's just too much evidence and too much smoke for there not to be fire. And I can understand why Saudi Arabia would want to hide behind the concept of sovereign immunity. But I am so grateful to the Senate and now to the House of Representatives for overriding President Obama's veto and really putting JASTA on the books as a law where it certainly should be.
Now, is it that the families, is it about getting money, or is it about just having your day in court and getting to the bottom of who is culpable for the 9/11 attacks? Which is it?
You've hit it very well. Yes, it's about getting to the bottom of it and finding out who is culpable, letting Saudi Arabia answer to the charges in court and see what they have to say to square with the evidence against them. And there is a remarkable amount of evidence, as will come out as the cases progress.
You know, President Obama, though, called this bill a mistake. What's your reaction to that?
Well, I'm disappointed in President Obama's attitude about this. He seemed flippant almost, and I guess he authorized Josh Earnest, his press secretary, to say that JASTA was the worst idea that the Senate has come up with. That kind of talk is just not appropriate, and it's hurtful to people who have already hurt a great deal.